Hello everyone and welcome to the round 4 roundup reaction. Another crazy week of NRL SuperCoach and NRL in general. Great to see so many of you in the chat already, but another week to wrap up. But most important of all, we have crossed the 1,000 point mark. That's right, ladies and gents, mainly gents. We are at the 1,023 score for this week. Doesn't feel amazing, but look, we've cracked that 1,000 goal. So baby steps, it can only be up from here, surely. I say that, and we're probably going to be in the mud next week. But great to see so many of you in the chat already. Great to have you all here on this Monday. Sorry, I got my days wrong. It's a Monday. How good, public holiday. Hope you all had a good long weekend. I missed a lot of the games and a lot of the pain because I was out camping. So I missed Tommy Turbo as captain completely. Just logged on, so he scored 55 and was like, cool, not cool. Missed the Dolphins-Titans game, so I missed Hammerso going 100 plus. Which would have been very triggering if I had watched that live. But I would have missed Bostock also getting a double in the first half, which I was very happy about. What else? I pretty much missed Broncos-Cowboys, but wasn't a lot of Supercoach relevance for myself. But otherwise, I did have a good long weekend. Hope you all did too. So I can see, thank you, Nick, Roger Duckling, Jake Young, Ben, Rosa, 75, Davey K, as always. Who else we got? We got Moz in the chat, Matt Sherwood, KP, Dean Perica, Mark Lawless, Brendan, Ange, LD. Great to see so many of you in the chat already. And of course, with scores, what seems okay, I've kind of pinned a message. So I scored 10.23. I think if you've got around 10.50, probably seems about par. I think 1100 definitely feels like a decent week. If you've got an 1100, you probably had someone like Hammerso. Maybe you've captained like a Nico Hines who went 90 plus this week. You've probably had a few things hopefully go your way. So, that's kind of how I feel the score assessment is. So I think if you've got an 1100 plus, you're probably looking at a good week. As you say, Mark, first decent score for the season, 1169. I think that's going to be a pretty good week. 1124 from Brendan, 1140 from Roger Duckling, which is really good. A 970 from Matt Sherwood. So, I think 970, obviously, probably on the slightly lower end, Matt. You probably would hope for more, but again, still early days. But I think someone put it earlier in the stream. There's going to be a lot of rage trading this week. Don't fall into the trap, people. Look, you can see it on the screen. Actually, you can't see on the screen because he scored you can, but he scored very poorly. Joey Lussick, you've got to be kidding me. I missed that Raiders. What was that? The Sharks Raiders, actually, I was able to catch most of that. When Danny Levi scored again, it just feels like Wade Egan from last year. Just the dummy half who has not very great base, but just keeps getting attacking stats. He's just, you know that gif of Jesse Pinkman. You just can't keep getting away with this. He can't. 66 points. Has he updated? What did he update to? 68. Oh, that's just disgusting. Danny Levi, 68 points. And then Joey Lussick, the must trader from 2 weeks ago, has gone 38 and 30. Didn't even play the full 80 minutes because of Brendan Hands. Just nightmare. I mean, it all capped off with me trading Latrell a couple of weeks ago. There was obviously a bad move last week in hindsight with the points that I missed out on not going Teddy or not going Val or just keeping Ponga. And then Ponga goes 117. So, look, I know when I traded Latrell, I was looking at a 4-week play. I can't stand it anymore. I will be reversing that trade come Monday morning. I know I've probably got other issues in my team, but I cannot stand having Latrell in my team, I think, another week. So he will be going straight back to Ponga, most likely. Maybe Reece Walsh, maybe Pappenhausen. Storm do have, coming off the bye, they've got the Broncos and they come into their own good run. So I might maybe see, I say Ponga, but it might be Pappy just depending on how much cash I need to maybe get back Cleary. It looks to be coming back in round 7. But initial gut thought was, watching Ponga as a non-owner, I reminded myself why I owned him from the very beginning of the season. So I think KP is most likely going to be the one who I'll trade Latrell straight back to. That cannot happen sooner enough. But hopefully you'll otherwise haven't had as much pain as I have with that particular Latrell out move. I know a lot of you out there are probably telling me it wasn't the right move. And look, I see the light now. I see the light. And of course, Dom Young this week. I knew that Hammerso could punish this week because, Titans versus the Titans, points are definitely much more on offer versus Penrith. I didn't expect Penrith to be as good as what they were, and nor did I expect the Roosters to be as average as I thought. A lot of people commenting about Luke Keary being an issue with that. Look, I was at the game live, and Dom Young was also just getting starved with the ball, so it wasn't great. But he does have the Bulldogs this week, so I kind of just I've made my bed. I'll stick with it with Dom Young. But yes, as you say, Nick, told you, Ponga's a scary player to not own. Absolutely. I think last year I didn't really feel that pain because I actually owned him pretty much from round 16 onwards when I was able to catch most of his entirely good run, so I never had that pain. But yeah, these 2 weeks, I mean, against Melbourne it was okay. I could kind of stomach an 86, but then this game against the Warriors, he looked so good in the first half. Just line breaks and then all these line break assists and tackle busts. I'm just like, oh, you can't be doing this to me. And that's the only game I haven't seen any highlights of, is the Rabbitohs Bulldogs one. I saw that Latrell basically had no major attacking stats, but still ended up on like 69 or 70, which is solid enough. But it's not the 100 plus I was hoping for against the Dogs. At least with Dom Young, he will go up in price. Other players go up a lot in price. Lockie Galvin, what a stud. So I reserved him very comfortably. Reserved him this week because I thought good base. I thought this game would have points. Wasn't super amount of points, but 62 points with a sin bin. Absolute gun. He's so good. Although we might not have him for the next 1 or 2 weeks because he had a hip drop tackle, which he could be banned for. But yeah, otherwise, Galvin, what a guy. But yeah, Ange makes a good point here. Next week is going to actually be quite a disgusting round. So Nico Hines is obviously on the bye. I've also got Ronaldo Mulatalo, who I don't want to necessarily sell, but I could just to make money to get Cleary back in round 7. Lockie Galvin could be out as well for people. Next week could be a bit of a gross round, but I get Harry Grant back, which is good. At least Coruscant didn't punish me this much this week. 44 points, so I'm happily accepting a 44 from Coruscant. I know a lot of people also did Levi to Coruscant. That probably hurts as well. But yeah, obviously great win from the Tigers in this particular game. Yes, I did see the highlights of the Manly Dragons game. Not ideal. I saw Turbo set up a try assist very early, and I was like, we're cooking here. Surely, no, not to be. Dragons obviously getting that win in the end. Yeah, tipping wise, didn't have the best of weeks. I think I tipped Roosters, bit of bias there, so I lost that one. I did tip Rabbitohs Broncos correctly, tipped Manly, tipped Dolphins, tipped the Warriors. I actually tipped the Sharks, which worked out. And then I tipped the Eels. Apologies, Tigers fans, for not having the faith. I thought the Eels would get the win here, but they didn't. So I got, 3 wrong. So I got 5 out of 8. Not the best week. Turbo, a sell. I'm seeing a few people mention this online as well. Potentially, do we move on Turbo? He's always looked good to the eye, but, he hasn't quite hit that big 100-plus score that we wanted. Comes into Penrith next week. The draw for Manly doesn't really look that good for the next few weeks. Again, as a Luke Brooks owner, I'm not liking having Brooks next week as my starting halfback against Penrith. But, Penrith next week, at least it's at home. Then there's the Warriors away. Not fantastic, although we did see Ponga get 117 against the Warriors. But then it's Titans, Parramatta, Canberra, Dolphins. I think I won't be selling Ponga. I won't be selling Turbo. I know he hasn't really got the points, and I know Gutherson did score well today. He got 100 plus, and he generally does perform better without Moses. But I think if you just get past his Penrith game, I think I think Turbo will come good, and I think he'll be fine. So again, it's a bit hypocritical because I've mentioned about I did sell Ponga. I'm for selling guns if you feel like you can maybe make some advantage out of it. But yeah, Turbo still to me doesn't scream a sell. Gutherson though is potentially a good buy. Like I'm seeing this comment here from Moz, which is Gutherson when Moses doesn't play, he averages like 90 plus. Yeah, he always generally does because he does goal kick as well. Scored what did he score? 100 plus today. Yeah, 107 points. The draw for the Eels is still decent. Even Tigers. We can talk about Tigers, but defensively they're looking very impressive. They were strong in their goal line. Didn't really concede too many points today. Only the 16 points. Only 6 points to Sharks last week. So Tigers probably can't look at that as a favourable matchup at the moment in their current form in the last 2 weeks. But Raiders next week, I think that's a good game for fullbacks. Cowboys, we know at home, definitely can see points. Dolphins is a game for points. Even Manly again. I think and up until round 9, I think it's a pretty decent draw for Gutherson. So people who are considering Gutho, I don't mind it. But I personally, maybe I'm a little bit scarred from this whole Ponga Latrell exercise I've just gone through. I personally don't think I'll be selling Turbo to Gutherson. I think I'll just be holding strong. I just feel like I've got bigger issues. I've got Latrell. Actually, to be honest, I could sell Latrell for Gutherson. I don't have to go back to Ponga. But if we're talking goal-kicking fullbacks, I think I'd prefer Ponga, especially with the Knights run that's coming up as well. Now their run really does open up. So if we have a quick look-see to them, by the way, Jackson Ford, 104. He's actually been looking. His scores have increased every week in the first 4 weeks. So he's actually, if anyone's looking for a 2RF pod, Jackson Ford has actually been sneaky good and passes the eye test as well. He actually gets a lot of attacking stats coming towards him. But yeah, if you look at the Knights now, Dragons next week at home is great. Roosters obviously not ideal, but then it's Bulldogs, Dolphins, Warriors at home, Tigers, Titans, Bulldogs. I think I can't go past Ponga, I think. No buys in any of that. Oh, they have a buy in round 12, but yeah. I think I will be going back to Ponga. Just with that run, goal kicking. I think Ponga is the one I'll be getting back. But Gutherson is potentially an option. Taylor May, yeah. So this is actually good. And guys, by the way, just with the way that I'm going to structure the stream, I think we're just going to take it a little bit more interactive. We'll just jump around, take your questions and stuff. But yeah, Taylor May, is he potentially a sell? Yeah, he has been disappointing. So ever since that very first week where he scored, I think, 67, he hasn't really hit the heights. Only 27 he scored this week. If we look at his previous scores, 67, 53, and then 30, and then now the 27 against the Roosters. I mean, I will say, in the games that, the games themselves haven't been easy. Melbourne obviously is not an easy game, but he scored very well, 67. Also, he hasn't really had any major attacking stats. But yeah, Parramatta's a fairly decent game, 53 in that game. Broncos, we know, they were undermanned, but still a tough opponent on paper. Roosters as well, I know we weren't the best, but again, that's also tough. Then Manly next week, I think is going to be fine. Again, he's not doing what we would have hoped, especially after what we saw in round 1. But I look at him again, I do think if you look at each game individually, the right-hand side of the Penrith Panthers has benefited from injuries to the opposition. So Isaac Tungo has been doing really well in the last few weeks. He didn't score. He scored 47, although he probably should have been awarded a try, to be honest. So Tungo should have maybe had more than that. But I just feel like there are going to be games where it could just happen to the other side, and then all of a sudden Taylor May is the one who profits, and he's the one who goes 70, 80 plus consistently. So it's just the Panthers. We saw how good they were against the Roosters without all of their guns like Cleary, James Fisher-Harris. It's just a team that we've bought him at a very cheap price, where he's in a good attack. I just don't see, again, a major reason to have to sell him. There may be some low scores, but I know that there will probably be some good scores coming. And Tommy probably summarizes this the best. May will smash out a 70 to 80 eventually. Can you still sell? Can you still sell him 2 weeks after that? Sorry, I read the first part of your quote, probably thinking you were summarizing it. What I was getting at was that people who may sell Taylor May, it's just written in the stars in SuperCoach. You sell him, and then all of a sudden he starts scoring again, and then you're like, why did I sell this guy? I just feel like Taylor May is going to be in that category. The buy in round 6 obviously isn't ideal. I can maybe see the merit of a short-term sell. If you look at Manly next week and then he's got the buy, maybe you buy him back. That's maybe a strategy. If you sell him and then maybe you want to see him prove it before you buy him back, I don't hate it. And at his price, what is he? He's 473k. He did have a break even of 54, so he actually will go down a little bit in price. He'll be around the 450k. So again, around that price, there's not a whole heap of options probably putting their hand up. You probably are looking for, maybe if you want to try capitalize on price gen, someone like a Bostock from the Dolphins who scored very well again this week, had a negative break even, and will have another negative break even. Maybe if you've missed out on a Bostock and you're thinking May is maybe an option for you to get rid of, maybe a May to a Bostock. By the time you have price changes kick in from next week's lockout, you're looking at maybe you'll still profit about maybe 60 to 70k doing the downgrade, but then you will make a lot more money as well. For Bostock, maybe you go Ethan Strange if you don't have Strange, but I assume most people have him. So that kind of a move, I can see some merit because you are getting some cash by doing that. You're creating some initial cash, and you're getting a guy who's got a big negative break even, who has still got a good run of games. I guess the Tigers this week isn't going to be considered the easiest now on paper, but Bostock is maybe an option. So I probably will think that there are merits to selling him, especially if you really feel like your team's been well set up. You can maybe afford to make some of these luxury moves. Then I think, sure, there's probably some merit to it because, he probably won't punish you, I think, in the next couple of weeks. And you can move on to guys who are going up in price. To me, that feels like maybe the best way. or if you've got money to upgrade him to a genuine gun, like if you want to go to Hamaso, who's, he's going to make money, he's got still passing the eye test, maybe that's the kind of move that you can do. But like my own team personally, I think I'm going to have too many issues next week to worry about Taylor May, to be honest. Sorry, I'm missing a few of your comments. Dean says that whenever people sell May, that's the week he'll score 80 plus. Yep, that's just how Supercoach works, isn't it? I guess out of the Roosters, don't ask me what happened with Teddy. Like I was at the game, I watched it live. Like, yeah, he did the tap on for Tupou to score very late on, but I figured he was just going to get the try assist, line break assist. I have no reason to not give it to him. So if you're a Teddy owner who's annoyed at this mass downgrade in points, I'm with you. I feel you. I feel you. Dom Young, obviously 30 points. I was screaming at the game, go right, go right, go right. And they just kept going down the left side. I'm just like, what are you guys doing to me? Dom Young was just catching a cold out there on the wing. But hopefully against the Bulldogs, we see a big score from him. But that's the only thing I'm holding on to hope for here. Terrell May, absolute weapon. 77 points, base power. Just, what a man. It was nice to see in the game, though, Taylor May tackle his own brother. Talangi, a buy for upgrade this week. Yeah, that's another one if you are looking to sell Taylor May. You could just go down to Blaze Talangi from the Parramatta Eels. Obviously, let's see tomorrow with TLT. If Talangi does get named again, maybe there's a bit of a rejuggle. You never know with Brad Arthur, and they're coming off a loss as well. But I think someone like a Talangi, he probably is not going to have a massive negative break even because he's got a lower score in today's game, which is going to be his second game. He's got 42, which is fine. So look, he will probably have a very close to, if not negative break even. I'm actually just going to check with Jay Schubert on Twitter. Definitely a follow. So he doesn't have what his predicted break even could be for next week, but it's probably likely going to be on the lower side. So Talangi could still be a downgrade for you this week as well. Seeing a few comments as well about Dillbags. How underwhelming has Dillbags been? I thought he looked better today. Like, he obviously got that half break. I don't actually know if that was considered a line break. Just going to have a quick look at the scoring here. No, so that wasn't considered a line break. Probably, fair enough. I guess John Bateman was holding on to him. But yeah, I thought Dillbags did look a lot better. This kind of game, 46 points with no attack. This feels a little bit more like the Dillbags that we all bought in preseason. The really high work rate, the really high base power guy. He pretty much did score 46 points, all base power. That's the Dillbags that we all know and love. So I'm happy enough that base seems to have increased this week compared to the last few weeks. 25 tackles. Even if you take away the tackle bust, we're looking at 25 tackles plus, 13 in runs. We're looking at, quick math, 38 in base. That's pretty much bang on what he's been averaging over the last few seasons. So he's been underwhelming, but again, 5/8, not a whole heap screams out. Tom Dearden has been looking good. Luke Brooks, probably you're not going to buy now. He's got Penrith this week. Maybe Galvin, but he could even be suspended if you haven't already got Galvin. But yeah, someone like Dillbags, again, doesn't feel like my biggest issue. So I think I'll probably be keeping him, and it's good to see at least his work rate is up. Same for Sean Lane, 60 points, all in base power. You'll love to see that. So yeah, sticking solid, I think, with those two. Good to see some work rate from them. We've already mentioned Gutherson. And we've already spoken a little bit about Galvin as well. But yeah, he could be out potentially next week or the week after as well, just with this hip drop tackle that he was put in the sin bin for. Para's attack looked terrible today. It did. And also, Joey Lussick didn't play the full 80, which was not ideal. I think in the end, he played about 61 minutes is what I'm going to guess he played. Obviously not ideal. We bought him hoping for an 80-minute hooker. So looking at it here, so Brendan Hands played 21 minutes. Joey Lussick only played 60 minutes. So not fantastic. And the attack has just dried up. So not great as someone who traded Levi to Lussick, but I've kind of made my bed. I think now we either just ride it out or maybe we just try to flip him to Coruscant soon. This is maybe a decent shout as well. Tailor-made to Olam from Hamish Hunter. Yeah, Olam has looked good as well in his 2 weeks back with the Tigers. So he scored 74 points today, 84 in round 1. He's probably going to have a pretty decent break even. He's 423k as well, so he's around that price tag. So I don't mind Olam. I typically probably would still think I'm not yet fully convinced, just because whenever he was at the Storm, even though we know that his qualities, from a Supercoach point of view, he just never really seemed to kill it for the Melbourne Storm. But this is one of these things where it's like, okay, sure, that's what he was at the Storm, but in the Tigers team, is he going to have a different role? Is he actually going to be a much better option? Because if you look at the last 4 seasons for Storm, averages 41, 51, 56, 45. So his best was 56. I'm just trying to think, is he going to be that, or is he going to be a little bit better? Trust me, it is a good run. You have got the Dolphins coming up. Then you do have the Dragons. Penrith round 7 is tough. Then you have Broncos, Bulldogs. It's a pretty okay run. So again, I don't hate it. Like, if people are interested, you can go to Olam. Again, personally, I'm probably not likely to go there, just because he did get a lot of attacking stats. Let me have a look at it here. You scored a double for only 74 points. Yeah, I know we're riding high on the Tigers at the moment, but part of me still feels like they're just going to come back to earth a little bit. And when that happens, then Olam is probably going to go down a little bit as well in points. Aman loves Fullback so much. Don't speak badly about him. They both have nice hair. Yeah, look, you'll be honest. Obviously, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you would know that I've had a strong affiliation for Fullbacks. The reason he got suspended for last year did make me kind of reduce my love for him a little bit, because I thought that's just a really, you can't be doing that, Fullbacks. Come on, have some sense. But from a Supercoach point of view, getting back to 46 base power, yeah, we do like that. So that's probably enough on that game. Just seeing what else is coming through in the chat that we can divert to. Yeah, actually, a couple of people talking about Teddy. Teddy is sell, definitely not. If you own Teddy now, you still end up 47 in this pretty well-beaten team versus the Penrith Panthers, and then he's got the Bulldogs this week. Yeah, I think Teddy is not a sell. If you've got Teddy now, you hold it. Scoring almost 50 points. It could have been higher, with all this conjecture about the attacking stats that he was downgraded from. When he had that, he was close to 70 against the best defense in the comp in Penrith. Looking at Jay Schubert, he should have a break even of 47, make 65k. Versus the Bulldogs, you definitely hold. I'm not sure if you remember the Jamin Jolliffe shout someone made in the other stream, but I'm seriously looking at him now at front row forward. I do remember the shout, so that came from Ian Johnson. And yeah, we looked at his numbers at the back end of last stream, and in terms of work rate, he killed it. Whenever he played big minutes, his base wasn't as high in this game, but he did score a try, so it was off a kick, so 63 points. Take away that, we're looking at 46 points in base power, which is again solid enough. He doesn't have a buy coming up anytime soon. He's at a good price as well, 484k. He's probably going to be a little bit less than that given the break even. But yeah, I think if you are looking to upgrade to front or forward, Jolliffe could be probably an option for you around that mid 400k range. Flegler is passing the eye test a little bit. Did get the attacking stats, scored 80 points. Again, this is just a small annoyance. I didn't end up starting with Flegler, but I remember for a long time, I think there was a team I had in preseason that for a good while had Terrell May and Flegler as my two midi front row forwards. I'm just thinking back, if I just started with those two, as Moz says, these are the two front row forwards you want, absolute machines. If I had just started with Terrell May and Tom Flegler, I just would have been so set at front row forward. I wouldn't have had to do anything. Of course, Liam Henry, the saviour, has come back. Scored another 50 points on Thursday. I still have Spencer Leniu, and it's only because of Liam Henry. I will need to sell Spencer Leniu though in round 6, because when Liam Henry's on a bye, I can't rely on him. Nor can I rely on Sam Hughes, who we'll get to as well. But he only scored 13 points. I don't actually know what minutes he played, but I'm going to quickly double check that. But my front row forward is definitely going to need some trades in that particular week. But if there's no Fisher Harris again in round 5, I could just play Liam Henry again. He's pumping out 50s. He's doing great. Yeah, Sam Hughes, 14 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty gross. So we may need to, people may be looking at selling Sam Hughes as well to a Xavier Willison. Don't mind that. Cannot wait to kick Latrell. Man does 6 runs a game. Yeah, Latrell, I can't be owning him. Latrell to who? So, as I said, we kind of spoke about it a little bit before in the stream, but Gutherson is definitely an option. Goal kicking, draws okay. I still think Ponga is probably going to be my preference, just because he's goal kicking as well, but I think his draw is much better versus Dragons at home this week. So I think Ponga is probably going to be my number 1 choice. Probably Gutherson is close. I know Dylan Edwards scored very well, but I don't expect that to be very consistently that he's hitting 120 points. He did have a great game. like that try that he scored, where he pretty much did everything himself, was very good to see. Very pleasing to the eye, although it happened against my team, which wasn't fantastic. But otherwise, Pappy comes back. I'd probably rank Pappy above like a Dylan Edwards. My top three would probably be Ponga. If I had to rank Gutherson and Pappy, I'd probably take Gutherson just because of the goal kicking, and then probably Pappy as number 3. So those would be my 3 guys who I'd be looking at the fullback spot if I was trading Latrell. But yeah, I think I'll be likely doing Latrell to Ponga myself. Right the wrong. So that's probably what we're likely to be doing as one of my trades. I will need to fund it somehow. So that part I haven't really quite worked out yet. Just going through some other comments. Who's more of a sell, Smithies or Fermor? Interesting one. So yeah, just on this Titans Dolphins game. So obviously Fafita was back, ended up scoring 57 points. I can't quite remember. Did he end up, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, did he end up coming off the bench in this game, or was he named to start in the final kickoff? I can't quite remember. I did miss this one. I'm looking at his minutes. So he did play 55 minutes. I'm going to guess that's 55 minutes. That was off the bench. Yeah, with Beau Fermor, so he's obviously now going to be probably playing on the right-hand side, which isn't ideal. Smithies, though, hasn't been great. Like, at least Fermor's still playing 80 minutes. Smithies has started to cool down a little bit. Corey Horsburgh did return to the team as well, so there's obviously now an extra forward in that Raiders pack who could command minutes and take them away from Smithies. So Smithies played 56 minutes. So we are seeing a decrease in Smithies' minutes kind of week on week. So he played 56 this week. Week before, 67, 80, and 69 were the 3 weeks before. If he's getting 56 minutes, because he doesn't have much attack in him, or pretty much no attack, he is very meat and potatoes. The score that he got, which was around, 43, it's probably likely what you're going to get from him. So I think if I had to sell one of Fermor or Smithies, at least Fermor's playing the 80, but I do think that you'll get more obviously out of selling Fermor. He's more expensive. So I think if I could hold on to one of the two, it's probably Beau Fermor. It's still playing 80 minutes. At least he has some attack in him, whereas Smithies doesn't really. But again, if you're looking at what trade gets you more money in terms of downgrade options and freeing up funds, it's going to be Beau Fermor. So I think that's probably just the decision that you need to make. But as I said, if you can sell either and it makes your trade work, I'd probably sell Smithies is the one who I'd sell. Yeah, so thanks Nick. He started, then switched to the right edge. Yes, playing on the right edge for Fermor is just not ideal as well. Alright, let's see if there's anything else out of this Sharks game. So obviously, yeah, Sharks into the bye in round 5. There will be people who I think will sell Nico Hines next week. So obviously he scored 94 points. The draw isn't fantastic for the next few weeks after the bye. So he does come back to... Well, actually, I lie. It's pretty good. Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Raiders, and Dragons before it gets a bit tough with Melbourne, Roosters, and then Penrith before Origin. So I do know people who may sell him for someone like a Sean Johnson, who I think Sean Johnson, his draw does look pretty good now coming up in the next couple of weeks. He scored well. He scored 75 points. And if you look at the Warriors run now, you're looking at Rabbitohs, Manly, Dragons, Titans, Knights. So it's a pretty good run up until round 10. And then maybe you switch back to a Nico Hines. So I think I personally probably won't sell Hines. I think I'll be keeping him. Again, I like those matchups coming out on the other side. He did get some late junk points with that try assist to Katoa, but look, we ignore that. We'll take the 94 points. Same with Mulatalo, 78 points. I was very happy with that. Scored a double and did get some very, very late junk though. So I know I was a little bit fortuitous with those 78 points that he scored. I could maybe even still sell Mulatalo because he was kind of like not necessarily just a cash grab, but it was kind of like, let's get it for 2 weeks and then we'll reassess round 5. If I want to free up money for Cleary, then Mulatalo down to maybe like a Talangi, that's going to free up so much money. I could go, that would free up like, more than 500k. So going Brooks back to Cleary could be very easy. Or I could go Hamaso. He's been killing it. Maybe I just right the wrong there. Maybe I go Mulatalo to Hamaso. But yeah, that's still something up in the air. But again, those games coming out of the other side are pretty decent, so I might be keen to hold on to Mulatalo. But yeah, with Nico Hines, I don't think I'll be selling. Iro getting 97, obviously a preseason darling, but look, very interestingly enough, though, Talakai had like 15 points, and he played, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't play the full 80, he played 53 minutes. but still 15 points. Yeah, seems he's better suited in the centres where he can actually take more runs out of his own end and generally gets better base. Surely May to Talangi is better than Ronaldo. Yeah, that probably is right, Matt Sherwood. But as I said before, I still think I'm keen to hold on to Taylor May. If we have a quick look at my team, actually, just to be a bit selfish. So, ideally, if I had the duels, I would sell Smithies or Burbo to Talangi. I just don't have the duels to do that, so which is a bit annoying. So, like, if one of my moves is going to be Latrell to Ponga, I'm going to need... I've got 44k at the moment. I'm going to need a little bit more than that. So, I could go someone like so Gagai to Talangi is not going to help me. So, looking at my centers, to be honest, Taylor May is actually probably the one who is the most sense to sell. I'm not going to sell Dom Young against the Bulldogs, so I've just bought RTS Gun, keeping him. I mean, Mulatalo I could sell on the buy, but those games coming out of the other side were pretty decent, so could just hold on to him. Ethan Strange I'm not selling. Bostock, there's no way I'm selling with his negative break even. Ethan Strange I'm probably not going to sell. I mean, I could sell Ethan Strange, but yeah, Taylor May could be the one to actually make sense if I do want to get Talangi. But it's annoying because I'd rather sell Smithies or Burbo. So we might just have to reassess what the move is going to be to make funds next week. Lussick to Levi, is that the move? Or am I just going to be an absolute moron if I did Lussick to Levi and just look like a fool? My round 5 trades will be my round 3 trades, but reversed, basically, potentially, but don't think that'll be happening. Brooks to Chanel, Harris to Vita. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting watch as well. So just quickly touching on that Warriors game. So obviously Luke Metcalf picked up that injury. Haven't seen from the physio what he said it could be, but something suspected like a broken leg potentially. So that obviously sounds quite serious. So if that's going to be a long-term injury, yeah, okay. So having a read now. So yeah, fracture sounding inevitable. The best case is a 6-week recovery if it's a simple fibular fracture, but it could extend beyond 10 weeks. So that's actually interesting. If he's going to be out for 10 weeks and Chanel Harris Tavita does get named to start, yeah, he could actually be a good way to downgrade because I think Harris Tavita is dual. No, he's just halfback, is he? Yeah, he's just a halfback. So yeah, maybe Brooks down to Chanel Harris Tavita. The only issue then though is that if I'm wanting to hold Nico Hines, then I'm going to have to sell Harris Tavita back to Cleary to get Cleary. So I'm not really going to be making a lot of use out of Harris Tavita. So again, it feels like I'm back to a square one where it's like, yes, Hines could be a sell this week with the buy, but those games on the other side I think are going to be pretty good. So, and I'm going to want to get Cleary back. So I feel like I'm just going to go back to wanting to have Cleary Hines. So Chanel Harris Tavita could just be a great cheapie. Fingers crossed he gets dual. 5'8" would be awesome because then you can easily go someone like to be honest, Lockie Galvin and Dillbag's probably going to save my team as well. So it feels like cheapies who are in the halves and the 5'8s just feel very difficult, at least my own team, to want to downgrade to. Boat's gone to Levi. Yeah, Jake, that was a bit of a joke, but I won't be trading Lussick back to Levi. I just don't, even if Levi had a negative 100 break even, I don't even know if I could do it to myself just because of the knowledge to get back Levi. But yeah, SJ could be a good shout. Yeah, goal kicking. 75 points. Didn't get that many attacking stats in this game. I think he only got the 1 try assist and a couple of line break assists. So not kind of a pretty typical SJ game that we got from last season. So 75 points, decent run coming up. I think he's a good option at halfback. If you are looking to play halfback roulette, Hines to SJ maybe could be your move. Jack Thompson, first year playing and coming 129th in Australia. Hey Jack, flick me a message. Let me know if you want to trade spots because you obviously seem to be doing a better job of this game than myself. So maybe you should just be doing all the content. No, congrats, Jack. That's I'm being sarcastic, but no, that's a really good rank. That's really good stuff. Beginner's luck, can we call it that, or just you're back in your eye test. The only must-have is Aman's hair. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see what else is there. Yeah, anything above halfback doesn't matter, Aman. Don't waste the trades. Yeah. That's right. Please don't curse Levi. I still have him. Yeah, honestly, whoever I bring in just seems to get cursed. I think I've had a better job of picking players to start with in my team, not my trades though. So I started with Ponga, who's been fine. I started with Liam Henry, who's just been a weapon. Who else did I start with who's been good? Started with Galvin. That's probably the best move I've made all season. Bought Kai Piss-Paul. Yeah, so Nick said, did I get Kai Piss-Paul? Yeah. We can maybe touch on the a little bit more of that game. Did bring in Kai Piss-Paul this week, which I'm very pleased with. So, scored 65 points, played the full 80 minutes, pretty much all base power. Really good run coming up for the Knights. Yep, very happy Kai Piss-Paul owner. I think he's a very solid buy again this week, coming up against the Dragons. He will go up about 40 to 50k. So just, again, I'm going to refer back to Jay Schubert. So just bear with me for a second. But a break even of 3, scoring 65 points. You'd have to think he's going up at least 50k. So Jay Schubert has estimated that he will be going up 41k with a break even of 7. So the benefit is that if he goes 41k, he's getting to 430k. That's still a very, very decent price. I think if you're a Smithies owner looking to sell Smithies to Kai Piss-Paul, I think is a really great move. Jumping off a player who's probably just going to be a very slow burn, probably not just a plotter. As Zach is saying, Smithies to Kai Piss-Paul, I think that's a really strong move next week. So yeah, Kai Piss-Paul would be the one. Someone was asking about if you were selling Mulatalo to a 2RF, who would it be? So if you are selling Mulatalo, obviously you've got a lot of funds to play with. Olaquatu could be an option, but Penrith this week probably doesn't feel like the best week. I honestly think if you haven't got Kai Piss-Paul, I would just go him, because if he's going to be base powering 65, that's keeper levels, honestly. Like, that's absolutely a gun in his own right at a very cheap price. I would just take the money saving and just go to Kai Piss-Paul, assuming you already own him. If you don't have Curran is a very solid mid-50s who you could go down to. Or if you are looking to spend up big, again, if you've got the cash with Mulatalo, you could just go straight to Fafita. He scored 57 points in 55 minutes. He could just be the one that you just go, you know what, I'm going to get him before anyone else, and forget about his really high price tag. I can afford it. I would honestly just jump on Fafita, to be honest. Because if you play 55, you expect him to be then playing 80 minutes. And if he starts playing full 80 minutes on the left outside of Kieran Foran, that's why he was so good last year. So I think go straight to Fafita, to be honest. Tommy makes a really good shout here. Tommy Leisman, Eli Katoa. I really like Eli Katoa as well, potentially as a buy for people who are looking as a second row forward next week. So own him in draft, which I don't actually know how I went in draft this week. I haven't checked my team. But Eli Katoa has been really solid the first few weeks. So 66, 63, and then 57. Hasn't played 80 minutes in every game, but 67 in that one game in round 2. Broncos this week is tough, but actually the Broncos at home. So I think I may have that wrong in my draw spreadsheet. But yeah, so Melbourne Storm are playing at home next week. Then it's the Bulldogs, Roosters, Rabbitohs, Titans, Sharks. Like, these are games where you can see Katoa getting, attacking stats. Munster looks like he's going to be back round 5. Jerome Hughes is back. Nelson Asafa-Solomona is back. That Melbourne Storm team looks like it's going to be back to that really strong team. So I think Eli Katoa is actually a really good shout. Thank you to Tommy for your second row forward as well. He's not the cheapest. He's about mid 600k. But if you've got that Mulatalo money, I actually don't mind that. You give me food for thought. I've got Bobo. Maybe I do that move as well. But no, I really like that as a potential shout for your second row forward. Anything more out of this game? I think out of the Knights, Kai Piss-Paul, Bradman Best obviously scored a try. I think Ponga, talked about him already. I'll probably be going straight back to Ponga from Latrell myself. And I think Warriors are a good team to target. I actually think, again, another second row forward, if you want to think about one, Jackson Ford. Obviously, he was much more of an option last year just because he was a bit of a money maker. He's not cheap this year. He's 585k, but he is passing my eye test anyway. He's definitely a pod, only at 1% owned, but they just seem to go to him all the time in attack. So he scored 69 in round 3. Like, he's just kind of steadily been getting better scores during the season. 57, 66, 69, and then 104 this week. So he's obviously got the big score this week. Feels a little bit like chasing points, but if we look at his work rate the last few weeks, based 51 round 1, based 39 round 2, which isn't great, but it was Melbourne. Then he based 61 points against the Raiders. So his work rate looks to be up from last year, and he still looks like he's getting good involvement in attack. So I think him with that run coming up for the Warriors, he's also potentially a good pod second row forward if you want to go for a 2RF. IPAP. Yep, IPAP is also an option. So I can't actually remember what he scored today. Only the 47 points. IPAP's work rate does seem to be a little bit down. I know he had a really good work rate in round 1, but I don't know. IPAP, Jackson Ford, kind of much of a muchness. So I think probably, IPAP is an option. I guess when it comes to would you go like a IPAP, a Jackson Ford, I'd probably just go kind of with your own eye test. There's not a lot to split them. I'd probably slightly lean Jackson Ford just because work rate seems to be up, but I think he looks to be getting a bit more in attack as well. What else? And then what was I saying? Sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, IPAP is an option, Haggy, but Ford, Eli Katoa if you want to spend a little bit more as a bit of a pod, or you just go all guns blazing and just go get Dave Fafita. Make a good trade. Yeah, I really should make a good trade, to be honest. I have made some bad trades in the last few weeks. Ethan, big sketchy of mine. Please respond to Ethan. I just did his chat. He watches and like all of your stream. Really struggling right now. It would mean a lot for him. Oh, Ethan, mate, hope you're doing well, and don't worry about it. We're here for you. Always happy to get DMs if anyone's struggling. But no, thank you so much for watching. And I did actually respond to your chat before I read that other message. Is lockout likely to end a bit earlier because of the earlier game? I feel like it's probably going to still be around the same time tomorrow, around that morning, 10 a.m. Have we discussed the Tigers? We already have a little bit Gazaraki, but any Tigers fans in the house, be very happy your team played very well today and last week too. Should I trade in Ponga or wait till he is cheaper? I think Ponga is, if you're looking to trade Ponga in this week, if you're looking to trade Ponga, just do it this week. Because he now has this 117, his break-even is probably not going to be that low. So looking at Jay Schubert, he's predicted to get a 42 break-even next week. Coming up against the Dragons, I'm not sure when he may get cheaper, so I think I would just go straight to Ponga this week. Should I keep Cleary or distribute the money? I think if you own Cleary still, I'd probably just be tempted to hold because you've already missed now this week. 2 more weeks. He looks like he's pretty much firming, ready to be back in round 7. I actually think Cleary, if the Tigers are going to keep playing how they are, Cleary actually has a bad record against the Tigers. Like, he actually historically has not played, Supercoach points-wise, he actually hasn't scored that well against them. So there is still maybe an argument that you sell him and you don't get him back round 7. Maybe you get him back round 8, potentially. Other games that we haven't spoken about much. We haven't really spoken about the Broncos, Cowboys. Probably the only thing, I guess, here. People are looking at the likes of Xavier Willison, Corey Jensen. So Jensen seems a bit of a plotter. Just 41 points. Again, nothing crazy. Willison probably is a talking point because a lot of people were looking at him maybe as a trade-in for someone like Sam Hughes, who doesn't seem to be cutting the mustard at the moment. So Willison, he only played 33 minutes though. So again, I missed this game, so I've only watched the highlights, so not sure if I missed anything in terms of like the rotation. But looking at Pat Carrigan, 74 minutes. Again, none of those bench forwards actually really seem to play that many minutes. Fletcher Baker, only 41. Corey Jensen played 48, which is okay. Willison, 33. So the minutes do seem to be a little bit less than what we had last week. Tyson Smoothy played decent minutes, 49. So minutes just seem to be a little bit up in the air. And again, front and forward, like Willison with this lower score, I don't see him as a must trade in this week either. So, people who are looking at Sam Hughes out for him don't really see too much value in that particular trade myself. Although Hughes obviously isn't looking good, but, again, probably doesn't feel like your worst headache. But he is coming a little bit of an AE nightmare if he's going to be playing only 14 minutes a week. In terms of other Broncos options, so obviously with bad conditions in this game, it was raining a lot. But Cobbo, only 24 points, was a little bit surprising given that they scored 38. But Reynolds obviously was good. Drinky was solid for the Cowboys, 77. Val Holmes did score a try. Again, I know Val Holmes was a very popular buy this week. Obviously, you were hoping for probably more, but you keep faith with Val Holmes. You could still potentially even buy him. He will go up a little bit more in price. He's likely to have a very high break even coming into this week, but then he comes up against the Titans. Do I need to say any more? Val Holmes is still a good buy this week if you are looking for Val. Actually, you know what? I could just go. Oh man, I could be doing 3 boosts. I could be doing my 3rd boost in a row this week. Because now I'm thinking about it. It's like, could I just go Mulatala to Val Holmes against the Titans? not that bad of a move. But that probably leads me to sell Taylor May, which I'm not sure how much I want to be doing that. But yeah, Taylor May to Talangi, Latrell to Ponga, Mulatala to Val. Ooh, that would be a tempting boost. Taylor May to Manu, valid. I think it's fine. Yeah, we did already speak a little bit about Taylor May as a sell a little bit early in the stream. So guys, probably just suggest going back a little bit if you can after the stream just to get to that. But we spoke about that quite a bit in length. So hopefully that covers off everything. Gazaraki gifting 10 memberships, absolute hero. Very much appreciate that, Gazaraki. You're a very big supporter of the channel. Really appreciate your generosity. Give a big shout out to Gazaraki. Who else we got? Wilson almost scored. I'll hold him for his upside. Yeah, so Wilson, if you own him, cool. But again, doesn't scream like a must trade in this week. Finifuyaki, no attacking this week. So 31 points, kind of what he got last week, just without the line breaker try. Cotter, solid 50, but nothing crazy. Same with Robson, 51. Probably not a whole heap out of this game. Probably the one thing is Zach Labart. So again, only scored 23 points. I think there were some people earlier in the stream asking about, do you sell Labart? So Labart, just having a quick look at his projected price and break even. So yeah, he's projected to have a 95 break even and make 17k. I guess the issue is that he's versing the Titans. I think if you bought him off the back of that big 100 plus point score, you obviously know that he can get these 100 plus point scores. I know the break even's high, but I just don't think you sell I don't think you sell any attacking player against the Titans based on their current form. Who's the guy on Twitter that posted break evens? I've just put a link to him in the stream chat, so just go have a look for that. What else we got? Yeah, probably not much more out of this game. Rabbitohs, Bulldogs. Someone did ask earlier in the chat as well, do we sell Latrell? Look, he's not a must sell. Who's he got this week? He's got the Warriors this week. Then he's got the Sharks. We saw Ponga score 100 plus, but I just don't think I can own him anymore. I think I need to go back to Ponga. So I personally will be selling Latrell. And I know, shout out to the SC Spy from SC Playbook. I know he also did the same Latrell to Ponga move. Pretty sure he's also going straight back to Ponga. I think you'll find a lot of people are going to go straight back to Ponga. Yes, if you're a Drinky owner, actually people who are looking at fullbacks this week, people looking at Gutherson. I should probably have mentioned Drinkwater too, because I was ranking Ponga, Gutherson, and then Pappy. We're back to fullback roulette again. Drinkwater versus the Titans could be anything. As shout out to the rugby league guru, but yeah, Drinkwater could be in for a massive week against the Titans this week. So if you have Drinky, he's a big captaincy option again as well next week. Is Kolomatangi from South a buy? Not overly enthralled with him. He's expensive, 630k. He had a big game last week where he got a lot of tackle busts, but didn't really think that he's just the way that Souths are going. I know they won this game, but at his price, for a little bit more, I'd rather get an Eli Katoa, or cheaper. You got the likes of an IPAP or maybe a Jackson Ford. Make a poem on Harry Grant, says Ethan. I can't really make a poem about him this week because he hasn't played. You know what? Next week, I'll remember you, Ethan. If he scores 100 plus next week against the Broncos, I will be making a Harry Grant poem. Don't you worry. I've been waiting for a Harry Grant monster score all season long. It hasn't happened yet, so I'm holding faith. I have Hines, Cleary, and Plath / Galvin. Absolute chaos. Oh yeah, Alex, that's rough. Yeah, because both Plath and Galvin are probably going to be suspended. Hines, Cleary, no halfback. See, in that situation, if you are a Hines, Cleary owner, who would I sell? I'd probably still sell Cleary instead of Hines, just because Cleary, you're missing this week and round 6. At least with Hines, he's back in round 6, and then with Cleary as well. Look, you know what? I'm going to try to bring it up, but as I said before, I don't think he's got the best record against the Tigers. So I know it's going to be scary not owning him against the Tigers, but honestly, I don't think he's got a very good record against them. Yeah, so last time he played them, 44 points, 100 the time before that, but that was in 2021 when it was the crazy high scoring year. So 100 in that year looks more like a 60, and then it was 54 in 2020. Granted, he hasn't played them since he didn't play them in 2022, but not the best record against the Tigers, I must say. So even if you sold Cleary, Alex, you may not even need to get him back by round 7. You could actually wait another week potentially, but that's up to you and your risk appetite. But yeah, I think I'd probably in that situation be selling Cleary still. If you haven't had a poll, yeah, it has been a while since I've done the poll. You know what, guys? Just life has gotten real busy recently, and before I was able to write poems just willy-nilly, but now it's just like trying to make sure I'm catching enough of the games, preparing content, life admin, you know. Now I'm engaged, so planning a wedding, all that good stuff. Poems just don't seem to be having the time to be made in my mind. But for special occasions, you know, Harry Grant 100+, we can make exceptions. We can do a poem. Yeah, look, Hamoli as a second forward, yeah, look, I'd prefer him to Koloamatangi as well. Scored a try, obviously scored 94 points against the Dragons. It's a tough matchup this week against Penrith, but if you are in the market for a gun second row forward, yeah, Olaquatu always looks dangerous. Playing outside of Terry Evans, he's always likely to get these attacking opportunities. So yeah, he's still definitely a good option. I'd probably rank him above Koloamatangi. I'd probably still rank him even above like an Eli Katoa. Like if you're going for a second row forward, you know, Fafita's probably your number one target. Olaquatu, maybe then Eli Katoa. Then you've got the likes of maybe in your 500s like a Jackson Ford and a IPAP. But again, I think you can probably skip the Jackson Ford IPAP price point, and you can go all the way down to like a 430k Kai Pearce-Paul. It's probably going to get you similar output to those other two guys. So that's kind of how I'd be thinking about the second row forwards, in my opinion. Josh is in the house. Hi, Man. Big Tigers fan, by the way. Hi, Man. What are your thoughts on Tedesco to Jareem Buller, Val Holmes to Justin Ollerman, AFB to Stefano? If SuperCoach made like an FPL challenge mode where, you know, you could just load up on all from one team. Actually, you can actually do that in SuperCoach. Yeah, why not? Yeah, Jareem the Dream, such a good option. Val Holmes against the Titans. Nah, not going to score well. Olam's a guy. Stefano, we all saw with him last year. We were just 1 year too early. Now's his time. Get on him. Yep, go for it. Who should I sell for Hines next week? If you're going to sell Hines next week, look, if you want to really make some money, Chanel House Tavita. I do think, though, with the goal kicking back, SJ is probably the guy who I'd be prioritising. I think he's got a good run of games coming up. Warriors are looking much better, and he's goal kicking. So SJ is probably the one who I'd be going back to. Alrighty. Elsewhere in the Dragons game, I guess Lomax 51, solid enough. I think he scored a try, or he was denied. No, he was denied a try. But yeah, 51 points, so solid enough. That's kind of going to be his floor. You know, Tom Eisenhuth did score well, but don't know how many people are going to be looking at him. DeBellin scored pretty decent too. But yeah, it's probably Turbo's probably the question mark. People are thinking, you know, Megalodon saying, would I sell Turbo to Drinkwater? Like, I don't think I'll be selling Turbo myself. It's like Penrith this week is obviously tough, but then Warriors, we've just seen them concede 100+ points to an opposition fullback in Ponga. And then we're looking at Titans. God, I do not want to have no Turbo against the Titans in that week. Parramatta at home, Raiders at home, Dolphins. I think the run becomes really good just after Penrith. So yeah, I don't think I'll be selling Turbo. I know this week Drinkwater could do very well if you've got the luxury to do those kind of luxury moves, you know, get in Drinkwater, go back to a Turbo, go to a Ponga. There's potentially merit, but I think I'll just be sticking solid with Turbo, in my opinion. Yeah, off day for Manly, but yeah, still probably going to put the faith in him. Are there any games that we haven't yet talked about? We've kind of talked about most of the main players, I think, from most of the games. So what I might do, I'll quickly go through my trades. We're at 55 minutes anyway, so I think we'll probably keep it to an hour. We'll just do 5 minutes of Q&A after I go through my team, and then we'll probably wrap it up from there. But in terms of my moves and what I'm thinking of doing next week, I might try to visualize it in the trade planner. So let me quickly bring that up on my other screen. But guys, in this little interim, if you've enjoyed the stream, do give it a like. It really does help me out. 246 viewers as well. We're hitting some good numbers. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I would hope that we do then get 246 likes on the stream. If you're all being very nice and kind out there and you're going to like the stream, that would be very much appreciated. Let's have a look here. So what moves did I end up doing this week? What moves did I do? I did Tuapiki out for who did I buy this week? Dom Young. That's right. Bought Dom Young this week. I also sold Cleary for Brooks. And I boosted. What was my boost? Oh yeah, I did Piakura to Pierce Paul. That's right. That's right. Okay, let's see if we can do this live. Is TLT still tomorrow? Yes, it will be still tomorrow. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. So this is my trade planner. It's really annoying that the prices haven't fully updated because of my silly lack of coordination. And in any case, we've got 44k in the bank. So yeah, round 5 is going to be a little bit gross because I don't have Hines. So my halfback Brooks has got Penrith. I don't have Mulatalo. But yes, in terms of the moves, I think Latrell will go to KP. Just get that good run of games coming up. I will need to fund it though. So at the moment, my spreadsheet is saying that I have got the money to do that. But after price changes, I don't think that will actually be the case. So I think Taylor Made down to Talangi maybe is an option because he has got the next 2 weeks is tough. So maybe Taylor May goes out for me. Wrong tab. You guys can't see it, of course. Of course you can't because I'm a moron. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that now. Wrong screen. Of course. Looking at YouTube Studio. Yeah, of course you are. Of course you're looking at YouTube Studio. All right, hopefully that fixed it up. All right. Now you should be... Of course, we have to have some kind of technical issue in my streams. It always is the case. Gazaraki, member for 14 months. Appreciate it. As I mentioned before, big shout out to Gazaraki. He is a big supporter of the channel. But yes, anyway, in terms of my moves, I think Latrell will go to Ponga. I could go Taylor May out to Eli Katoa. I should still then have about 200k left, which I can then use in round 6 to sell Spencer Lenu, and maybe I get like a Josh Kerr, maybe a Flegler, one of those kind of options just to beef up my front and forward, because you can see in round 6 I won't have Liam Henry and I won't have Spencer Lenu, so I don't really want to rely on Sam Hughes. So that could be what I do for my particular moves this week. It could actually just be Mulatalo out, maybe a bit regrettable because he hasn't been bad since I've got him, but maybe I could just cash in on him. In any case, that's what I'm thinking. We're back to my team hopefully, but yeah, we've just hit the hour mark, so... Oh, I've crashed out. Oh, no. Oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell, we crashed. It's probably because of the microwave. It's probably because of the microwave. Did you use the microwave? It's 7:30 as well, so it is getting close to dinner time. I have a feeling the food is getting heated up. No! Alright, hopefully I'm back. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. In any case, you're all good now, don't worry. Okay, sweet. But you went AWOL for 2 minutes. Of course I did. Of course I did. Look, I'll upload this as Spotify audio and I'll just cut out the edits, random parts. All right, we'll do 5 minutes of questions and then we'll wrap it up there. But yeah, again, please give the stream a like. Nick says, any idea when the duels kick in? I think it would happen round 6. That's likely going to be when the duels will kick in. So yeah, round 6 will be the first week. Yes, let's pray to our Lord. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. In round 6, I might not even need to sell Spencer Lenu for a front row forward because I could just switch. I could just go Spencer Lenu to a second row forward instead and bring Curran up to front row forward. Oh, let it happen. Let it happen, please. 2 minutes is a suspiciously microwave amount of time. Yeah, Jake, I think we've discovered it. We've discovered the reason. Is Tarpany a buy? I haven't actually been monitoring Tarpany that much, if I'm being honest. Just because he's kind of been getting like 50s and stuff, and he's not been cheap, so I don't know. Like, sure, he scored 72, but I think that included some attacking stats. Oh no, it didn't. Okay, well, you've piqued my interest, but yeah, 72 points. I think at front row forward at his price, I want to say he's like 600k plus. 623k just doesn't feel like value. Like, I'd be so much happier spending 620k in like center wing, second row forward, just not front row forward. Jamin Jolliffe, is he a buy? Ian Johnson, yep, welcome. Yes, I think Jolliffe could actually be a buy as well for people who are looking at a kind of a 400k price. Not 400, 400k priced front row forward. KP for Teddy. No, I think if you're saying you own Teddy. If you own Teddy, I don't think I'd be selling this week to Ponga, just because Teddy still has like a manageable break even of like 40, and he has the Bulldogs this week, so I don't think I'd be doing that move. Should I go Val Holmes for Tellen May? Look, I think if you can get in Val Holmes this week, I think it's a pretty good move. Like, he's going to be very expensive, but he's got the Titans this week. Could just be a huge score. Val Holmes for Dylan Brown. I don't hate that, but again, Dill Bags doesn't feel like my biggest issue, and especially if it would mean Ethan Strange becomes my main front, my main 5'8" combined with Galvin. Don't know if I love that combination. So I think if I want Dylan Brown, I'd probably, like, I've got Mulatalo who's on a buy. I could probably just sell him instead. Mulatalo to Val, Ian, as I mentioned, that could be very much a move that I look to do next week. Should I sell Burbo or Salmon? Yeah, we didn't actually really talk about Burbo, to be honest, in the stream, so probably should talk about him a little bit more. But Burbo just seems to have plateaued a little bit. The draw is going to be a little bit tougher. If I had to sell Burbo or Salmon, though, probably Burbo. So again, looking at Salmon's score, 35. Like, it's been a rough start to the year, so I'm gonna pat myself on the back for at least one of my calls, which was that Jamin Salmon is going to be like a mid-30s plotter, and I just wasn't too keen. He's gone 29, 36, 35, and 35. So I feel like I've got one thing right at least with Salmon. I would trade Salmon probably instead of Burbo, just because at least with Burbo, we know he can get attacking stats potentially. Salmon, it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen for him. So I think I'd probably think, like, if there's one I wanted to play each week, Burbo would feel more like the guy I'd want to, although he only played 49 minutes though, which is actually very worrying. Yeah, the minutes is a big issue with Burbo, actually only playing the 49 minutes. I'm going to have a quick look at what Salmon played. I suspect he played about what he's been playing the last few weeks, but just bear with me. This is the issue when you don't watch all the games in entirety and you go camping for multiple days. But yeah, so Salmon played 68 minutes. Yeah, minutes is a concern there. I still think you're more likely to get attacking stats from Burbo. Like, Burbo did get 36 points in 49 minutes. Like, that's actually decent, and that's all in work rate as well. So yeah, I think I'd be holding on to Burbo still out of the two. Manu a shout? Yeah, Manu is definitely a shout as well. Am I keen on Samuel Fainu? Came so close to getting him in this week for Fermor. So again, Samuel Fainu, didn't really monitor him too much this game. 53 points though, very, very solid. We like that. All in base, which is good. Oh, he did get one line break, so 43 points. In terms of minutes, just going to have a quick look-see at what he played. But yeah, Samuel Fainu could be a shout as well if you're looking for a cheapy second or forward. If you're looking to move off of Morgan Smithies, maybe you can make a downgrade to him to make some money. But yeah, he only played 38 minutes though. So 38 minutes coming off the bench for 43 is good work rate, but he did get a line break in there. So part of me still feels like he's not going to be a must or anything like that. And he also feels like he's going to be a little bit more of a slow burn too. Sully to Eli Katoa or Lussick to Grant paired with Appy. Ooh, if you had to get one of the two, I think I'd just be getting Harry Grant, if I'm being honest. Just Grant is Grant. I know Eli Katoa is good, but Grant is Grant. Taruva or Isaac Tungo, a buy. If you're probably going to buy, I don't think it would be this week, just because you're buying this week and then they have the buy in round 6. So I probably wouldn't be looking to get them in this week myself, personally. No love for Caesar. Yeah, look, Aiden Caesar, actually, on him very quickly, he did play a very good game today. Scored that field goal, of course, to, in the end, win it, although Gutherson did miss a penalty goal. But with I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? With Caesar, just with a halfback, I think if Chanel House-Tavita gets a start, he's cheaper. He's probably going to be a better option as a cheapy option if Metcalf is out for a few weeks. And then in any case, you've got a better draw probably. And I think you're going to want to eventually get back to the two guns in like an SJ, Cleary, Hines, those kind of three. So I think Caesar, I don't see him making like bulk cash to be, a worthy trade and then trade out again. Galvin out suspended. Okay, has that been confirmed or is this just a guess? But anyway, what I think about Jolliffe, Alex, I did talk about Jolliffe already, so I'll probably just skip over that if you just want to go back into the stream a bit later. Too late to grab Kai Paul? Nah, definitely not. I think Kai Paul is still a great trade-in option. Loving the content as per usual. Thank you, Dylan, so much. Alright guys, we've got to an hour. Actually, I'll quickly read out this thing from Hamish about James Salmon, for anyone who's an owner. He might go well next week with Preston and Curtis Morin out. That's a good shout. See, again, I missed the whole game, so I didn't really... I know Preston is out for 3 weeks, but I did miss that. But yeah, actually, if that's who your 50-50 is, yeah, Salmon could go a little bit better than Burbo, if that's potentially your consideration. Anyway, I think we're going to end the stream there, guys. We're getting to an hour, 10 minutes. So thank you all for joining. We had some good viewers on the stream today, which is very much appreciated. A lot to digest this week as well. TLT back tomorrow. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a stream again straight away tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday, but obviously we'll do some kind of a preview. So we'll keep you posted on the socials. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you're a new viewer around here. If not, thank you all for joining and see you all in the next one. Cheers.